What's up, y'all? Back to Deuce and Deck podcast. I'm Deuce.
I'm Dak.
Welcome. So gonna be a bit of a different format. We don't have a lot of news right now, so just do a topic, and we're gonna be doing the topic of what Newton.
Mm, mm. I'm gonna let you start off first, and now I'm gonna chip in to what I think went wrong.
All right. To start off, Cam Newton, a former MVP, had the 15 games and was, the most feared quarterback going into the 2015 Super Broncos. And after that, everything just seemed to collapse. Everything just seemed in Cam Newton. He bounced, at least from Carolina. Not went to the Patriots, had some upside, didn't really reduce to what they believed he should have, and there too was released by the Patriots, and he hasn't had any luck getting the team since. Actually, a stint with the Carolina Panthers again in the
Mm-hmm.
2021 season, where he had a promising game against the injured Cardinals team, and then the next few and
Yeah.
got benched in favor for PJ Walker.
I,
Um,
I, well, go ahead.
oh no, you got it, you got it.
Honestly, what I think went wrong, like since football is a 90% mental game, I feel like he just wasn't there completely mentally. Like he had to take some time off, and he never really just allowed himself to sit out.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know when he wasn't picked up by anybody. Well, I know when the Patriots released him, he was working hard. Like I don't know if you've seen his Instagram
Yeah, yeah,
stories
yeah.
or whatnot. Yeah, dude was working. Like he was trying to get back on the field immediately. And I wanted to see him back out there, but it's like every time he gets back out there, it's like he'll have us in the first half, and then next thing you know, is everything just goes down.
Mm-hmm.
So, to be honest, I really don't know.
Um, so I feel like we can start at the beginning, at the very beginning, uh, which is college. He starts off at Florida as a freshman. He didn't. He played five and was
Mm.
bench warmer in his 2 years at Florida in his freshman and sophomore year. Junior season, where he played 14 games, had 4 yards, 10 yards per attempt, downs and 7 interceptions.
Hey, that's the Cam Newton I know.
As you suspect, as the trend with college quarterbacks, go and sit somewhere, sitting behind the guy for a couple years, and then ball out. The Joe Burrow story. The
Yeah.
who's some other guys story. The
Mm-hmm.
Jalen Hurts story.
There's gonna be a lot of QBs to do it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the trend. Sit behind, get kind of a thing going, and then transferring and showing everybody what you're truly about. And that's what happened. He skyrocketed in the draft boards and became the number one pick, I believe, in the 2011 draft.
The dude was a monster. A great dual third QB.
Yeah.
Uh,
And so Cam Newton, his first game, absolute masterclass against the Arizona Cardinals. He had 422 yards and 3 touchdowns in his debut. Incredible start for him. And it seemed to set the tone for what Cam.
it did. Definitely. Like I know, wasn't Ryan the head coach at that time?
I believe
Yeah, I know
so.
he was thinking like this is our guy. Like
He started all 16 games. Uh, Completed 60% of his passes. 41 touchdowns, but 17 interceptions.
Like at
Uh,
the time, it was said that Cam Newton was going to be the next best dual threat QB.
yeah, for a rookie season, going 6-10 in his rookie year, doesn't determine much, of course. The next year in 2012, he started all 16 games again. They went 7-9. He completed 57% of his 3,000 yards, 9 and 12 interceptions.
Mm,
Getting better. One more win, 5 less interceptions. It's kind of trending in the this guy can have some potential. Watch. And in
yeah,
2013, that's when the Panthers made that jump. Cam Newton again started all 6 games. They were 12-4 this time, improving vastly. He completed 61% of his pass. Uh, uh, Season, 24 touchdowns and 15 interceptions.
yeah. This dude was something.
Yeah, and he earned himself a Pro Bowl this year in
Yeah, that's his
2013.
first Pro
His
Bowl appearance. His second?
rookie season.
Oh yeah. He did make the Pro Bowl.
In 2014, team game 5-8-1. He completed 6% of his passes, pretty consistent at that point. 3,000 yard season, 18 touchdowns and 12 interceptions. So double digit interceptions all 4 years in the NFL so far.
Yeah, that's a. I feel like that's a trend for dual threat QBs though.
Yeah.
Double
Um.
digit interceptions. It just
Yeah.
happens.
Because when you run outside of the pocket and you're throwing on
Like
the run
yeah,
constantly, you're gonna come into something like that.
exactly.
Now, here is the year 2015. Cam Newton starts all 16 games. The Panthers go 15-1. He completes 60% of his passes, has 4,000 yards, 35 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, wins
That's
the MVP. He's Offensive Player of the Year. He's a Pro Bowler. They have a good postseason run, a great postseason run in Super Bowl. Get to the Super Bowl.
yeah. Oh man.
And
Yeah.
it's the Denver Broncos against Peyton Manning's last ride Super Bowl. It just all kind of
Yeah. The same energy they had throughout the season just didn't show up with them to the Super Bowl.
right.
I
And
don't. I
then
don't know what went wrong.
and that's the question. That's the question. What exactly went wrong in this Super Bowl? Cam Newton passer rating of 4, 265, an interception, no touchdowns. The score ends up being 24-10.
Well, I mean, you just answered that question for us. He had no touchdowns.
The
They couldn't
offense
get open
couldn't the
apparently.
offense couldn't get going at all.
Yeah. I mean, at the time, that was a scary Broncos defense, and I'm a
Yeah.
big Peyton Manning guy, so I was going for Manning in the Super Bowl. So I remember watching. I bet it with my friend $5, but that defense was very good at the time. You had
Yeah.
Prime Von Miller, didn't you have? Wasn't Ware still in the league at the time?
Marcus
Yeah, I
Ware.
was like, man, just that defense was stifling.
Yeah, and the from that Super Bowl is the infamous play where Cam Newton fumbles and hesitation jump ball instead of diving on the ball, and people consider that the moment where Cam Newton's whole history changed for the word.
Yeah, that was probably one of the most questionable decisions in. a Super Bowl game. Like people still think the Super Bowl is rigged to this day.
Yeah. And it stirred this narrative about Cam Newton that he couldn't win the big one. And they may have been right because we haven't seen Newton play to that level since 2000.
Yeah, we haven't.
We
He was
haven't
constantly throwing for 3,000 yards.
and it's kind of, demeaning this guy that was so in this year, so great in the regular season, so great in the conference championship, and it all just falls apart in one game, and you never get it back,
Hmm.
and
Yeah,
you just never get it back.
you can never get it going how it used to go. Cause this
Carolina only
crazy
made
dude was going. What'd you say?
Carolina only made the playoffs once after that Super Bowl year, and now
What, oh man, who did they have on that squad? What squad was that?
um
Was that Luke Kuechly's squad?
Luke these teams, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Mm, I don't know. Also, that franchise in general just like started spiraling down.
Yeah. John back. He was during that time. He was, a top 10 league at that time.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know about that Jonathan Stewart era.
Yeah. Team Jonathan Stewart was a offense.
Mm-hmm.
Had Benjamin,
Kelvin Benjamin. Yep.
which we could probably get
Kelvin.
to that. Oh, man, you gotta go. Record. Mm-mm.
Kids, you gotta love them. You gotta love them. Um,
um, yeah, I think you get a whole myself.
yeah.
So following 2016, uh, plays 15 games, starts 14 of them. They go six.
Mm, mm,
A tremendous downfall. Uh,
yeah.
it's appalling. Happens.
The Super
Six.
Bowl might have took a toll on them.
Yeah, of course, mentally they go six and
Had to.
eight. He completes 52% of passes, 3,500 yards, 19 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Um, in the next year in 2017, Cam Newton starts all 16 games. They go 11-5. He completes 60% of passes again, 3,300 yards, 22 touchdowns, 16 interceptions though.
Um, it's still a good completion interception ratio.
Yeah.
It's all
Um,
right.
but but now looking at the stats like this, seeing this makes it seem like 2015 was almost a kind of lucky year, kind of just a right place, right time situation
And
where
I
all
can
the
agree with
stars
you on that
aligned,
situation. Yeah. Yeah.
where
Cause
have to produce surrounded by all that talent.
hmm because that team, I'm not gonna say they weren't anything, but like far as names go, they didn't really just have crazy names.
Yeah,
Like their star receiver was Kelvin Benjamin. No disrespect to him because I like Kelvin, but I mean that says a lot. That your star receiver was Kelvin Benjamin at the time.
yeah. The following year, 2018, uh, games they go six. He he has what year? 2018. He has 24 touchdowns, 3,300, 70% of passes completed. His best in terms of passes completed. Uh, and as a start.
Mm.
So back to what you were 2 years ago. And it's kind of an inconsistency that seems to be the trend. A lot of things start falling apart. This is a Christian McCaffrey year, though. And
Yeah, it
highlight
was.
of this team, undoubtedly.
Mm-hmm.
2019, Cam Newton only plays 2 games. He goes 0-2 in those games.
Not
And in
very
those two
good.
games, completes around 60% of passes, 572 yards, and an interception. Of course, an injury.
Mm-hmm.
Carolina has a bad year, and of course, Christian.
Yeah, he brought light to that offense.
And in that offseason, Cam Newton is released. And there's so what happened uh, towards the Carolina Panthers organization had from fans backlash
Yeah.
and Cam decision they made. I do that. This guy has brought you to a Super Bowl. This guy made the playoffs for it. Has been our guy for the years.
Mm-hmm.
That's released as of course.
Yeah.
Um,
I feel like what they wanted out of Cam Newton, they didn't get, so they just kind of released him because they didn't
and
get
of
what they
course,
wanted at the time, and they were
and
they
of course, you're gonna
they
be
were so eager to get back
disappointed.
to how they used to be.
Yeah,
Exactly.
disappointed, especially after 2015, where you make a Super Bowl.
Right.
You disappointed in that Super Bowl. Seen countless times where a loss in a Super Bowl results in calamity for a team.
Mm-hmm.
As Seattle Seahawks in 2015, where the Patriots in the 4 seconds of the game, and the Legion of Boom falls apart. And just recently, Russell Wilson gets traded, and that team was crumbling down since that 2015 Super Bowl. And this is the end result of it. Is this Carolina detriment of this team happened a lot sooner than it has for the losers.
Exactly.
It happened of a year. If it, but Newton does get picked up by the Patriots, needing a quarterback after Tom Brady at Tampa Bay. He starts 15 games. He's 7 games. He 80% of passes, 26 10 interceptions.
Not really a good season. Probably his worst season. Well, it is his worst season of his career.
In 15 games. In 15 games, 8 touchdowns. To be fair, on his level. Being a
It's
quarterback in
true.
the NFL, starting quarterback in the NFL, having won an MVP not even 10 years ago at this point, being a, a former Super Bowl, being in a Super Bowl, being an offensive player of the year, being the rookie of the year, making 2 Pro Bowls before that, really made this inexcusable for
Right.
Cam Newton's play. Really
Mm-hmm.
made this probably the low point of his career.
And like I said, if you were following up on his socials at the time, you could see dude was working.
Yeah,
Like you would have thought that he would have came back and resembled his MVP self, but it was not like that at all.
it just didn't happen for some reason. And it goes to a point where you was mentality because he had the the winner mentality, the brush it off and keep going mentality didn't really fare. It may have like ended up being just at the right time and all the stars aligned. 2015,
You know?
and it makes you think if this huge star was ever again within it. Think about that. Kind of upset that they were kind of bam. This was some great QB, and then getting the product of 8 touchdowns and 10 interceptions in 15 games.
Right. Like, I don't necessarily want to hold that grudge against him because we've what he could do, but it's just like it was so anticipated for him to get back on the field, and everybody was just hoping for Superman Cam,
Yeah,
and we got Cam.
all the flashes we saw. Great. We what may have been the next great QB. What could have
Yeah.
been probably a top tier, probably bouncing into like top 30, 25 all time. That
Hmm.
production 2015 keep up, maybe even top 10.
Maybe because being a dual threat, having so many touchdowns on your feet while also in the air, that plays a role in it as well.
Cam Newton, even though he kind of way for these kind of dual threat QBs, which I believe that Russell Wilson did more than but
Oh yeah, you're absolutely right.
and gun type deal go on product of it. A lot of his seasons actually multi digit interceptions.
Yeah, they he he all his seasons were double digit, right? Yeah, yeah.
And then we get to 2021. Um, Cam doesn't play most of the season. QB needy Carolina comes and picks Cam Newton up. 5 of them. He goes 0-5 in those games. Around 55% of passes, 84 yards, 4 touchdowns, 5 interceptions.
Mm,
And is benched most PJ Walker, the guy from the XFL.
yeah, which is
Or
crazy.
and in some games, PJ Walker actually outperformed.
Oh, most definitely. We all seen it.
And it further that 2015 was nothing but a was nothing but a a one hit wonder
Yeah,
in
definitely
Cam
was a
Newton
one hit wonder.
forever. What if
Like, what's the what if though? Like, what went different to better his career? Like,
there's so many what ifs surrounding Cam back on the ball? What if Cam Newton didn't get hurt in 2019?
yeah,
It's never what if just so much so many questions surrounding the should have would have surrounding Cam
hmm.
and there
Do you think
doesn't
he
seem to
fin?
be a set
Well, go
answer.
ahead. It's not. It's not a set answer at all. Do you think he should call it wraps and retire?
I don't know. Um, he definitely believes that he can be well, be in the NFL, but a
Yeah.
starting quarterback, I doubt that severely. And Cam Newton is, I don't think he would be a bench role. I don't. I just don't think that's the kind of person is to be
Yeah,
able
because he
to do
holds
that.
himself so high.
Yeah,
He holds himself very high. Because I mean, look at the numbers he's been putting up since he's been in the league. Like he just recently started getting into his worst seasons, but like he's been like early on, he was throwing for 3,000 yards every season with a 60 completion percentage. So I mean, he holds himself pretty high, and but I generally don't know. I think he probably should just give it one more year, and if it's not what he wants it to be, he needs to just go ahead and hang up the cleats.
yeah. Maybe Cleveland comes calling. A team, Seattle might come calling. A Carolina might come calling.
Yeah,
Um, possibilities, and there's so many questions to what could have happened.
what could have went different? It's no test
There's,
though.
there's just so much that should have happened that uh, it's a question nobody can answer. Knows
Well,
2015 or whether it's always been.
hmm my guess is it was just mental. Like he got in his head a lot. He probably
Yeah,
that's how it started down spiraling.
and that may have
Just
been the
mental.
case. That may have been the case in a way. He just was place, and every time he suits up for a game, and if I do this wrong, what if I get this wrong? I just it
Yeah,
could be the case, but never showed that. He never
he didn't.
really expressed that. He always put up confident front that he could be the guy still,
Hmm
and we'll never know if that. We'll probably never know if the the fumble bothered him, whether the Super Bowl in general bothered him, whether the run with the Patriots bothered him. We'll never what happened.
Or because Cam isn't the. I feel like Cam is the type of person to come out and admit to something like that.
Yeah,
So we'll truly never know.
and to finish us off, uh, just overall, finished with 148 games played, 144 of them started. Uh, finished completion percentage, 32,000 uh, yards, 194 touchdowns, interceptions,
Hmm.
and an MVP in the year, an offensive player of the year, two, three pros, and a Super Bowl appearance.
Do you think he gets Hall of Fame with those type of numbers?
No,
Not at all.
if Cam
Right. Yeah.
there's like if Eli Manning doesn't get Hall of Fame, then Cam Newton has no shot. If Eli Manning does get Hall of Fame, however, there's a sliver of possibility. But
I agree.
the way it's trending, no, I don't believe uh, that 1 year in 2015 gets you a Super Bowl. I mean,
It
gets
doesn't.
you a Hall of Fame.
No, not at all. Because the picks and touchdown ratio isn't the best
Yeah,
to start off with.
and just really not much else. I believe we covered everything really.
Yeah, you got to bear
So
with us, guys. Trying to get as much stuff done as possible without sports.
so a really short episode, just a discussion really between two going on in sports right now. we can just do something like this. We can do this more often if you guys is like something you guys do, like just discuss things like this. So with that being said, uh, that's about all for us from today. You'll probably catch us next week around the same time, uh, probably a Wednesday or Thursday. But other than that, that's about it. So catch y'all. Deuce and Dak out.